Hello guys, how are you?
I'm Hardeep Singh. Welcome back to your own YouTube channel. IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test, and speaking, you got guesswork. Please, guys, participate in everyday listening and reading practice test to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Press the bell icon for the upcoming notifications. Don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams.
Part 1.
You will hear a man who works as an operator in a call center for an energy company talking to a young woman who is a new customer. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6.
Good morning. This is NEO Power. How can I help you?
Hello. Yes, I'm about to move into a house and I need to get the gas connected.
Do you mean you want to get the gas switched on, or does your house need to be connected to our system?
Just switched on, I imagine. It's not a new house and the heating system installed runs on gas. Am I talking to the right person?
Yes, you are. Let me check if you're in the system. Where are you calling from?
Derby, but the house is in Leeds.
Okay then. What's the address?
Hang on, let me check. Yes, it's in Friar Street. Friar.
Okay, Friar Street. What's the street number?
16.
Yes, there is a connection there. It was disconnected 6 months ago.
Well, we bought the house 3 months ago, so I suppose that's about right. Can we do the reconnection over the phone?
Are you an existing customer?
I don't understand what you mean. I'm calling to get connected.
Yes, but do you have your gas with us in your current house?
I don't know. The account isn't in my name. I'm living with my parents at the moment.
Okay, so we need to start from scratch. You do get a 10% discount for the first year because you are a new customer.
Great. I chose this company because you have the best deals at the moment. But with a discount, it will really make an even bigger difference.
Excellent. Can you give me a full name and surname, please?
Yes, it's Miriam Barton.
Miriam Barron.
No, it's Barton. Barton.
Can I have your date of birth, please?
Yes, it's June 5th, 1995.
Now we have to have some security questions, just in case you call again for anything.
Like my mother's maiden name or the name of my cat?
We don't do those. They're not secure enough.
Okay, what do you need?
Usually we ask for the surname of your first teacher and the street you lived on as a child.
Okay, but I can't see how either of those are any more secure. What was her surname? Mrs. Rogers.
Okay, Rogers. And the street you lived on?
Oh, you want both? Okay, the same one I live on now, Riley Street. Is that okay?
Great, thanks. Now I just need your email address.
It's miriam95@gomail.com.
Got it. That's fine. Now, when we finish this call, you need to check your email. I've sent you a link to our website. You can finish the registration on there.
I thought you said we could do everything over the phone.
Yes, we can arrange the connection, but you need to agree to the terms online. It saves time for the phone operators, so we can deal with as many people as possible.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10. Now, listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
Now, we need to arrange the connection. Is there anyone living in the house at the moment?
No, it's empty. I plan to move in next month. I'm starting a job at the University of Leeds, so that's why I've bought a house there.
We need to get access to the meter to start the gas service. I see from the information I have here on my screen that it's in the back garden. Is that correct?
Yes, and it's completely surrounded by the house and another wall, so the technician would need to be let in. It shouldn't be a problem, though. I can be there if necessary. I have to paint the kitchen anyway. It's a couple of hours' drive, though, so you have to give me a time to be there.
We will have someone in the area on Monday, the 15th of June.
What time would that be?
I'm afraid I can't give a time, only a day. Would someone be able to be at the house on that day?
I can't do that, I'm afraid. I have an exam that day. What I can do is, I ask the next-door neighbour. She'll let the technician in. They just have to know to go and knock on her door. She's in number 18 and her name is Mrs. Richards. She's always at home during the week because she works from home and she already has a key from me. She's done this kind of thing for me before.
OK, so she's in number 18. I'll need a telephone number for her, though, in case she doesn't answer the door.
OK, just a sec. It's 367-555-921. That's 555-921.
367-555-921. Thank you. Now, if you complete the contract online, we'll get a technician there on Monday. Welcome to NEO Power.
Thanks for your help. Goodbye.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2.
You will hear a man who works for the local council talking to citizens who want to help the environment. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Good evening. I'm John Lake, and I work as an environmental officer for the local council for this town. We have had numerous requests from citizens on how they can do their bit to combat climate change, and from the number of you that have come along to this environmental education meeting tonight, particularly the number of young people I can see here, there are many more of you interested than we had thought. It's difficult to know exactly what to do to help to save the planet, but I can assure you we can make a difference, especially if we have large groups of people who are willing to work together. On that note, the Council has quite a few initiatives that you might not know about. Firstly, we have a tree planting program that's been going on for the last 3 years. There are 2 ways you can be of help here. Every Saturday afternoon, we plant trees in parks and community areas around the town. We only have about 20 people helping out at the moment, and we need more pairs of hands. Everybody is welcome to do something, from carrying and digging to planting and watering. We have been budgeted funds for thousands of trees, but we just haven't had the people power to get them all into the ground. If you are able to give up a few Saturday afternoons, we could get a lot more trees planted. The other thing is that we have almost as many trees that we are giving away to be planted on private property. They are all species that don't have the type of root systems that will ruin the foundations of your house and burst your water pipes as they grow. And there are various sizes and types, depending on the location. All it takes is a call to me, and someone from our team can come out and advise you what trees to plant and where they should go in your garden. Not only is our advisory service free of charge, but so are the trees.
Before you hear the rest of the recording, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
We also have programs for insulating your houses, putting in solar panels, and moving over to electric vehicles. We can help you make these changes. Many of you worry about the food you are buying and want to buy more local products to have less impact on the environment. On Saturday mornings from September, we are starting up a new farmers' market in Broughton Square in the centre of town. The council is only charging stallholders minimum fees for selling their goods, and in return there is a general agreement that prices will be kept as low as possible. We are hoping that competitive pricing will attract a lot of sales, so it will be worth it for our local farmers. The benefit to you is that you can reduce your spending on fruit and vegetable and help the environment. We also want people to have their own stalls at the market. Empty your garages and cellars and sell things you don't use anymore, instead of throwing items in storage away. The next thing is something I have been receiving a lot of calls about, so we are starting a new program for it. People have been concerned about where they should put old clothes they want to get rid of. There are some donation bins around the town for various charities, and I suggest putting clothes that are still wearable in those. However, for old and damaged clothes, old curtains and towels, and any old fabrics you want to throw away, we are starting a pickup of these on the first Tuesday of every month. The clothing will be recycled to make new industrial materials for furniture, carpets, and insulation. Too many of these items are ending up in landfill or worse, being incinerated, and we need it to stop. People want to save water, so another thing is that from November, anyone who puts in a rainwater tank that catches rainwater from their roof will get a 5% reduction in their council water taxes for as long as the tank is in use. This includes people who already have a rainwater tank. I'll give you the link a bit later so you can make a declaration if you already have one installed.
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 3.
You will hear two students talking to their tutor about a market research study they have done. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Now, Andy and Rebecca, the first step of your business project this year is to do market research before you finally decide whether you will take your product to market. Remind me what your product is.
It's the flat portable water bottle that doesn't take up too much room in your bag.
I thought there were some problems with that. You discovered it wasn't a completely original idea.
Yes, though it was our own idea, it seems someone had got to it first. That didn't put us off, though. We just need to establish a point of difference with the company that we are competing with. The bottle that is on the market is made of plastic, though it is BPA-free, but we have had ours made out of borosilicate glass. Like glassware that you cook with and is used in laboratories, it is almost unbreakable. Another point of difference is that the competitor's product can't stand on its end. Our product has a flat, slightly wider bottom that allows for that. Also, our caps are made of aluminum rather than plastic, with the same silicone seal. Like the competition, our bottles are leak-proof.
Similarities are that it is virtually the same shape, and the price point is much of a muchness, depending on how many we produce. Ours is slightly heavier though. The main thing we wanted was to have a non-plastic product. Our design is also much smaller, so it's easier to carry in the hand.
All right, we don't expect all our student products to be completely original, though of course it is easier to sell a product if it has no competition.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
Tell me about your market research strategy.
The first thing we did was check out the competition. There is the original design that was financed through an online funding site and is now exclusively sold online. Then there are 2 other direct copies that are also sold through the major online retailer at a much lower price. They have come on the market since we started the project.
So, competition is growing.
Yes, but they still don't have any market recognition. We put together a focus group of 30 people, and none of them had ever heard of the product. The focus group was made up of people from campus, 30% of whom already used a multi-use water bottle.
Tell me more about the makeup of the focus group.
25 of them were undergraduates and the other 5 were university staff. We recruited them from the University Sports Center and with some flyers in the main food court. We gave them lunch after the focus session for their trouble. We weren't able to give them all a bottle to keep as we only had 30 samples made, but they were able to fill and use them on the day for testing. We just weren't expecting so many people to come to the group.
We chose 10 people from the group to keep their bottles and test them over the next week, and they all reported back to us online.
You were very lucky to get a 100% response. It's quite difficult to get that even though it was such a small group. Why didn't you get more samples made?
It was a question of budget. We want to save as much money as possible for our promotional campaign. From the responses we got from the original group, we are very positive that people will want to buy it. We put a tickable box on the focus group question form for the subjects to tick if they wanted to be contacted when the product came on the market. All 30 of them ticked the box.
You might find it is because people just like ticking boxes. Turning a tick into a sale might not be so easy. Can I see the survey form? So you gave this to everyone. Okay. You seem to have asked all the right questions. Have you got any data to show me?
It's just raw data at the moment. We haven't set it out into a report. We can give you that in next week's meeting.
What about audio of the focus group meeting?
We recorded it, but we haven't typed it up yet.
I'll see you next week at the same time, and by then I want a completed report. You don't have much time to get this product to market, and hold-ups at this early stage could have you losing marks on your final result. I'll overlook it this time, but you had better come up with the goods next week.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 4.
First, you have some time to look at questions Now listen carefully and answer questions.
The 100-meter sprint is no longer a race where 8 fast runners do a lot of training and then line up to see who can go the fastest on the day. Now that the fastest male runners in the world are regularly running the distance in less than 10 seconds, the training and preparation to make the difference in those milliseconds that separate runners is complex. Jim Hines from the USA was the first to break the 10-second barrier in 1968, with very few over the years that followed being able to match him. Until the second decade of this century, almost a third of those who did manage it were found to be using performance-enhancing drugs. Now 50 people have broken 10 seconds in the last 5 years, but none have been able to match Jamaican Usain Bolt's 2009 record of 9.58 seconds. Will it ever happen? Scientists are still trying to understand how the top runners in the world who manage these incredible speeds are actually able to do it. Longer steps seems like an obvious way to move faster, but to do this, the athlete needs to produce nearly 5 times their body weight in force and touch the ground for just milliseconds. The way very fast sprinters do it is by keeping their leg stiff and pushing it hard into the ground on impact. This can make an enormous difference in sprint speeds, as slower sprinters only use little more than 3 times their body weight when doing the same thing. The problem is that the impact time of the foot is less than 1/10 of a second, and motor skills like this cannot be consciously managed. A 100-meter sprinter works on autopilot, and it seems that trying to consciously think about movement during a race slows the runner down. So focusing on foot position and force needs to be done repeatedly in training until it becomes automatic. Then the conscious brain can take a step back during a race. Diet plays a major part, as the size of a runner is an important factor in creating force. The sprinter needs to increase muscle mass and power and have a low fat ratio. The way to build muscle mass and the strength to go with it is to do lots of weight-bearing exercise. Though running is weight-bearing, it is inefficient for building muscles compared to getting into the gym and lifting weights. Recent studies have shown the optimum way to build muscle and reduce body fat is to have a diet high in healthy fats, moderate in protein, and minimal in carbohydrates. This may mean having more than half the calorific intake in the form of healthy fats. Mental skills should not be overlooked. Comparing athletes in peak physical condition, studies have found that the mental state can make up to 80% of the difference between the performance of competitors. The ability to set goals forms a part of this, and commitment to training is another part. But when it comes to the actual day of the race, there are psychological tools that can be used. Creating a mental image of how the race will be run and won has long been shown to be extremely effective. Yet studies have also been done on pre-race visualization of happy memories. Inducing such emotions has also been shown to significantly improve running times. All these factors might be combined to enable sprinters to run fast enough to beat Usain Bolt's benchmark. He defied many expectations when he did it, but some calculations have shown he might have done even better. His start reaction times were slow in comparison to other runners, and this could have been corrected by physical and mental training. Perhaps his diet could have been better, as his penchant for chicken nuggets is well known. Even if he had been running at altitude, as Jim Hines had been when he broke the 10-second barrier, or had the benefit of a tailwind, it has been suggested he could have run a time as fast as 9.45 seconds. Whether it be better knowledge and training, diet, mental attitude, or perhaps even some genetic abnormality, the record will one day be broken.
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
So guys, don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test and speaking, you got guesswork. Please guys, participate in everyday new IELTS listening and reading practice tests to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. For more IELTS material, visit my official website www.ieltsupdatesandrecentexams.com. The link is given below in the description. If you need PDF files of latest IELTS material, then please join my Telegram channel. So guys, please write your score below the comment section. Again, thanks for listening. God bless you all guys. Stay tuned, stay safe.